Hi guys, and welcome back to another Premier League prediction video. Last time out we got two scores correct. It was Liverpool beating Villa and Man City beating Leeds, both by a scoreline of 3-1. Some good predictions there, glad to get them both right and hoping we can get some more right here. Before we get into the predictions, remember to hit the like button, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any more Premier League prediction videos. Let's get into my predictions. We start off with West Ham against Brentford. West Ham struggled last week against Arsenal. Brentford got a very good point against Spurs and will be quite upset that they didn't come away with 3 points considering they were 2-0 up. For this one, I can see it being somewhere down the middle, so I'm going to go 1-1. Liverpool take on Leicester next. Now, these two sides both had interesting weekends. Liverpool beat Villa convincingly 3-1. Leicester lost 3-0 to Newcastle, and they struggled. They really did defensively, which has been an issue all season. Liverpool, I will give the benefit to here. I think they are a better side. Liverpool to win 2-0. Two winners from the Boxing Day fixtures face up next. Wolves take on Man United. Now, Wolves got a very important victory over Everton. Last minute winner from Ryan Ait-Nouri. And Man United beat Nottingham Forest. Now, one thing about this game, Man United are in very good form anyway, but Marcus Rashford in particular has been so good as of late. Good cameos in the World Cup, and yet he's full of confidence. He's taking on players and beating them. A lot of times last season, he'd be losing the ball. I've got a feeling Man United will win this one. Wolves might try and make it a bit difficult. I think it will be a convincing win for Man United, but maybe not so much by the scoreline. Man United to win 2-1. On to two Boxing Day losers now. Bournemouth up against Palace. Bournemouth lost to Chelsea. Palace were battered by Fulham but had 2 men sent off. I think that Palace, they've got the quality over Bournemouth and I think they'll get the points. I really think this side of Christmas now, Bournemouth are going to start struggling and dropping into that relegation zone. So Palace to win 1-0. Fulham take on Southampton next. Now, Fulham were very good in a 3-0 victory over Palace. As I said earlier, Palace had 2 men sent off, but Fulham were very, very good. They're up against a Southampton side that have been dropping down the table. Nathan Jones has taken charge, manager from Luton. Only seems to do well at Luton because this happened before. He went to Stoke and he struggled. Ended up back at Luton. They were brilliant. I'm wondering whether him moving to Southampton isn't going to work out and he's probably going to end up at Luton after this. But we'll only get to see in the future whether this was the right appointment. For now, I've got to fancy the home side, Fulham, to win it 2-0. Man City face off against Everton. Now, Man City won 3-1 against Leeds in the Boxing Day fixtures, and they were very, very good. Everton, they lost a vital match against Wolves. Wolves were in the relegation zone. I think Everton might have been as well, but it's just made everything so tight down there because Wolves were bottom. That win, I think, brings Wolves to within 1 point of Everton, something like that. So it's tight, and Everton don't look like they're getting better anytime soon, and they've now got a very tough test. I think Man City will go one better, not in goals scored, but in goals against. Man City to win 3-0. Newcastle up against Leeds, and what a brilliant team Newcastle have been so far this season, and they seem to be carrying on in the same vein of form. 3-0 against Leicester. Almiron carrying on his brilliant form. Joe Linton getting a goal too. Chris Wood from the penalty spot. Newcastle are very, very good because they haven't got world-class players, but they're playing some brilliant, may I say, world-class football. Leeds lost 3-1 to Man City. They weren't too bad in the second half. Man City probably quite fortunate to go in 2-0 ahead as well. There were some missed chances. If it wasn't for Ilya Melier in goal, it probably would have been about 3 or 4 at half time. But Man City ended up winning it. Can't say I'm surprised. And sadly for Leeds, I think you've got the same fate coming here. Newcastle to win 3-1. Brighton up against Arsenal. Brighton beat Southampton. Arsenal beat West Ham for Boxing Day. I've got a feeling this could be quite a tight game because Brighton can be stubborn against these bigger teams. If you cast yourself back to last season, maybe even the season before, Neil Maupay just kept frustrating Arsenal. That's not going to happen now, but I've got a feeling it's going to be tight. There'll be a last gasp winner, and it's that winning mentality that Arteta has instilled into Arsenal this season. Arsenal to win 2-1. Spurs take on Villa. Now, Spurs have been very weird lately. A lot of comebacks. 2-2 against Brentford after being 2-0 down. I recall them playing Leeds and being down. I think Bournemouth and being down. That's quite recent fixtures as well. So they don't seem to really start games well, and they always seem to have to come from behind. Villa lost 3-1 against Liverpool. I think that with Son not being in the best of form, he looks a bit lost at the moment. Maybe Harry Kane could come up with something, but I've just got a feeling Villa will get something here because Spurs are struggling so much to start games well. So I'll go 1-1. And finally, Forest take on Chelsea. Now, Forest haven't had the greatest start to life back in the Premier League, but there have been some memorable moments, mainly them beating Liverpool 1-0. What a brilliant game that was. Brilliant performance from them, and they got the job done. May have thought they'd turned a corner, but I'm pretty sure the week after they went back to losing. They're up against a Chelsea side that don't look full of goals. They hadn't won in 5 league fixtures, and they'd lost 3 in a row. But that was before the World Cup, and their first game back, they did beat Bournemouth. Got a 2-0 victory. Chelsea are one of those this season. They're not looking exciting. They're not looking like they're full of goals, and they are going to have to rely on their defence playing well if they want to get victories. However, I think Chelsea will defend well here, keep a clean sheet, and nick a goal somewhere. So Chelsea to win 1-0. So, those are my predictions for these upcoming Premier League fixtures. Let me know down in the comments what your predictions are. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any more Premier League content.